you've in your career, like I mentioned, you played a number of bowlers. If you had to pick one bowler who you had a never-ending positive duel with, and it was a challenge playing him, and you were always keen to play him, and he was always keen to bowl to you, who would that bowler be?
To be honest, my nemesis, if I could say, is Raju Kulkarni.
Oh.
There was the Ranji final where he got me out, and also in the first innings of an Irani game in Ahmedabad, I think. Yeah, Ahmedabad. Oh, not Ahmedabad, Nagpur, sorry. Nagpur, Irani game, he got me out in the first innings. And that was actually a selection trial for an Australian tour, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And though I got 100 in the second innings, by that time the team was announced and it was too late. So I think a couple of times that Raju Kulkarni caught me and I was on the verge of, one big score there, would have probably got me into the Indian team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I always think that he has been my nemesis. He has been my, if only I had, though I got runs after that, I got a double hundred also after that. But I think those crucial times when I needed runs for myself, somehow I failed and I got out to him. He was one pretty sharp bowler, and in fact, I thought he should have played more. He was pretty quick, though somehow didn't play too long.
Which aspect of this bowling was lethal? Was it his? Did he move the ball around? Was it sheer pace?
No, he was sheer. He had this ability to, bounce the ball from a shot of a good length, because he had this kind of an action. It wasn't very smooth. He had this, and I can't really describe he was not like a Jeff Thompson, but then he had this action, where he could generate a lot of pace and a lot of bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And Bombay, Wankhede always had that bounce, which helped him. Though it was just once you settle in nicely in Bombay, then it's a batting paradise, to be honest. Nobody can get you out unless you want to get out. But it's the initial, 10, 20 minutes, if you get used to that bounce.
Mm.
But then twice he got me there in this Irani game that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I think probably could have, if I got the 100 had come on the first innings, maybe I would have been on my way to Australia.
You were also selected for an ODI against New Zealand, wasn't it?
That's true. See, what happened was the first game that when they all came here, New Zealand was touring India. We had a 3-day game against the North Zones, and I got a brilliant 100 there. But somehow the 3 test matches that were being played, I was ignored. Then we had the ODI series beginning, and I was again ignored for the first 4 games. But there was a lot of flack, a lot of questions were asked by the media, because many players were being tried. A whole lot of my contemporaries were being given a chance. And so press said, yeah, here's a guy who got 100 in the very first match, a brilliant 100 that we all talk about. Why isn't he being given a chance? Why is he being ignored time and again and again, So I don't know, maybe to, if I could say, to shut the press, I was picked for the last one day. I only asked why not the first one day? Why the 5th one? Unfortunately, again, destiny played foil, and even that game couldn't happen.
It got rained out. Right?
It got rained off. We took the flight back. That's it. And then, funnily, surprisingly, I think after that, the next tour was, I think, West Indies. Some probables were announced and my name wasn't there. So I really can't say why, what was the justification that, just a few months ago, I was part of the team. And then now I'm not there in the probables.
That's Indian cricket, I guess. So you've played so many shots in your life. If you had to pick one shot that you can never forget that you played in first-class cricket, would you remember?
I was basically a back footer.
Okay.
Because maybe for the fact that we used to practice on a matting pitch in the club, and we had some great bowlers. To be honest, real quick bowlers in Sonnet. People like Ranji Singh, Manoj Prabhakar was there. now later on, we had Ashish Nehra, all coming from Sonet. So matting, if you see anybody like Raman or Manoj or me or Ajay, we are all from Sonet. We were basically good backfooters. And when you're a good backfooter, you rely more on the horizontal shots. So I was a good cutter and a puller, and I used to love playing that square cut. Though of course in that era we all know how good a player Vishwanath sir was, and his square cuts. And I used to emulate him. I used to try playing that shots, but of course I came nowhere near the great Gundappa. But yes, people used to talk about my square cuts, comparing it with Sir Vishwanath.
But do you remember any one square cut that you hit that you remember a shot or no?
No, I must have played it so many times. Except,
Okay.
one of the in a club game it happened that this guy was trying to bowl on my outside leg stump, because we never had this wide rule earlier. How strict they are now. So these guys would bowl outside the leg stump, many a times, and then I wanted to, and he had a field of 7 on the onside, and he was kept bowling on the pad line.
Okay.
So this particular shot, I remember, I withdrew myself, as he came on to deliver, I drew back, and this square cut that I played was between the stumps and the wicket keeper.
Oh wow!
So this guy moved towards collect that ball. He had moved already a few steps. So this square cut that I played, literally, it was about an inch close to the leg stump.
Okay.
And that shot I still remember. And when I came out and I said, "What kind of a shot was that?" I said, "Yeah, I needed runs, so I played it. I had control over it. So I used to enjoy playing that shot, square cut."
Okay. And any instance that you remember where you still remember that you got your team out of difficulty, or you think that is the best innings you've ever played in terms of difficulty?
Yeah, I think one particular game that comes to my mind is a Ranji Trophy game where Delhi was tottering at 60 for 7 or something against Services.
Which year, sir?
Somewhere in the, I think, 84, 85.
Okay.
So I was literally playing with the tail. So Mani and me got a 100-run partnership. Then when Mani got out, we were 9 down, and then came Sunil Walson, and then again a 100-run partnership with Sunil Walson. Somewhere around, and all those days it used to be a 3-day affair, and our fight used to get the maximum points for qualifying for being number 1 and qualifying for the Wills Trophy.
Okay.
So this inning, and then we needed, everybody was after me, ke Bhasi, 200-250 run karna hai. We need that many runs to get these guys out twice, so that we get the maximum points, because the others were little ahead of us in the tally. So we needed an outright win. So this particular knock where I managed to, we have almost scored something like close to 300, 270 or 280 or something, and we could get them out twice. Because we had Bolivia was there, Madanlal was there, Manoj was there, and then that innings I remember probably one of the best that I've played.
So how many did you score?
I got some 120 or something like that, 130 or 140, something like that, so close to that.
Okay.
The other inning that I remember, which should have fetched me a place in the Indian team, was that we were playing the English Trophy at Chennai Stadium. And we had considered a lead. Azad got a brilliant 100 in the first innings, and we considered a lead of about almost something like 200 runs or something. And there were 2 days left. And when we had this small meeting after the third day, what Manoj said was, give me 200 runs. All I need to ask you is 200 runs. So we said, okay, we'll try, because we had only 2 days left. So what happened was, we were out 50 odd for 3, and I remember that one particular ball came crashing onto my toe, and I had a fractured toe.
Who was the bowler?
I think it was Venkatesh Prasad. I think Srinath and Venkatesh Prasad. We had Robin Singh, Kumble, everybody playing this also, and it was almost everybody thought the game's over. And we were 50 for 3 when the day ended. All right. And the next day, I was literally couldn't even walk. I was literally dragging my phone, my big toe. I was in pain, terrible pain. And then, so what happened was I went into bat with Ajay, and I said, "Yeah, Ajay, I can't carry on like this. I would like to go for an X-ray." So I walked off. So went for an X-ray. By the time I came back, we were something like 120 for 7 or something. The game was as good as over. So when I came back and they asked me, "Would you like to go in?" I said, "Of course, I'd like to go in." And so Chetan Sharma was there, part of the team. He said, "Basi, I told him that agar lunch se pehle, if you get a chance to bat, you go. I like to go after lunch." Thinking that even I was not even sure, yeah, how much are we going to score. Believe me, one of the best innings I would have had with first with Vijay Yadav. He got some 60 odd. So by the time I was already batting on 20 when I went for that X-ray. I must have been 30, but I did not take a runner. Believe me, I don't know. Somehow I had this thought that if I take a runner, there'll be confusion and I might be a run out. So I said I'll run. I'll limp and run, or what'll do? I'll manage something somehow. So I'd only told him, don't take cheeky singles. Stick on to easy ones and twos of boundaries. So this guy got 60 odd. And by the time I must have reached some 30, 35. Money walked in. Okay. And we had almost about 160 runs partnership.
Really?
And believe me, I got a brilliant 100. I got some 120 or something. And then when I walked back, when, end of the day's play, last day, and we were way beyond 240 or something. So I still remember going and telling Manoj, "Tune 200 मांगे थे, तेरे को 250 दिए." So he said, "Just watch me tomorrow." So next day we were declared something like, and they needed some 240 runs, it's 247 or something. By lunch they were packed, 90 all out.
And how much did Manoj? How many?
Manoj got 3 for something. He said, "Azad ko main le lunga." Because Azad had got 160 in the first. He said, "Don't worry about Azad. मैं इसको तो ले लूँगा." And what an electrifying atmosphere we had. Believe me.
Which ground was this on?
This is Chinnaswamy.
Chinnaswamy, okay.
Yeah. And by lunch we had finished off the whole South Zone team, including Rahul Ravitz, everybody. They had such a strong side. WV. Everyone was there. Rahul was there. W was there. Kumble. A whole lot of people were there. I don't know the batsmen now. South Zone. They were shot out for 90. So that was a great comeback. Believe me.
Incredible.
It was amazing.
Incredible. Decent. Yeah.
But that when I still remember, what I should have done was I should have removed my shoes, and I was walking back. I should have showed them what I was going through. But I was in terrible pain. Believe me. My nail had come off.
Oh, that can be really, really bad.
That nail came off, was dangling it got stuck to the socks of mine, and my sock was soaked with blood. Only if I had taken off my shoes and showed to the press, this is what has happened, this is how I was playing. But then, I don't know, still couldn't find that break, couldn't find that nod from the selectors.
But you know yourself as to what you've done, so that nobody can take away from you.
Yeah, fine. But then it's actually, I might sound a little, maybe I'm inching or, maybe, because what happens is in India, you need to have that T tag. You are recognized only with that. Anyway, if I give you an example, it was shocking for me actually, just because a few years ago, I was doing an assignment, and just because that I was not, I was a senior most in that, they made me a chief coach, right, in NCA, and I was a senior most coach there. But this disparity was there about somebody playing one test match. Some of them were coming for the first time for the NCA. They were paid an handsome amount, and we were paid only half of it. Now, this is where it hurts. Now sometimes you move on in life. You see, okay, I'm a great believer in destiny. I always well, okay, nahi tha. See, twice I got picked for India. One was this game got washed off. The other time that picked me up was for the SAC tournament where I went to Bangladesh.
Okay.
I was padded up to go into next to bat, though I missed out on the first two games for unknown reason. I don't know why I was dropped. But then this third game, I was padded up to go in next. And suddenly we hear that the demolition of the mosque has taken place. And there was heavy firing in the stadium.
Oh.
And the whole tournament got called off.
So it was abandoned, the game?
The whole tournament got cancelled. And then somehow we came back, after about 3-4 days because the flights were all cancelled. I think half of the guys went to Dubai, and from there they came back to Bombay and other places. We got stuck there. So after 3 days, when we came back, we were told there that England were touring India, and there's a game at Lucknow. And the same squad has been retained. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping maybe I might get a chance, and here's the last opportunity that I was 28 then. By that time I was 27, 28. So, but surprisingly, when I was packing myself to go to Lucknow, my dad opened up the paper. I said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I need to go to Lucknow." He said, "Sorry, boss, you've been dropped." I said, "Why?" I think the same team, we were told that all of us have to get a no. The headline showed was Rahul Dravid replaces Bhaskar Pillai.
Which year was this?
When did this demolition happen? 91 was it?
1991?
No, 91.
No, maybe 91.
Yeah, so I think it's somewhere in that phase. So that's it. So then that was a signal for me that okay, now I'm over the hill. Now I don't think I have a chance to play for it. So twice. So then, how do you justify this? It's definitely destiny. No? It was never written that I had to play for India. Fair enough, good enough. But then sometimes people make you remember that you're not a test player. And, something like what I told you about the payment part.
I know.
So I took up this case with some of the guys who were involved in the NCA committee. And now what has happened is the next year, I think parity was maintained and everybody was paid the same amount.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But then why?
Very true. Very true, yeah. But that's...
So that's what happens. Here, you need to be a test player. That's when people recognize you.
Two more questions, sir. One is, you must have taken many catches as well. So do you remember one catch that as your best? Can you elucidate on that?
To be honest, I have about, I think my first class, I've had about 140 catches or so, I'm told. And at that point of time, I don't know about the others. The Delhi team used to say that I was the best closing fielder ever seen.
Okay.
My gully and short leg was something. If you ask Manoj, Prabhakar, many a times Manoj and Manni would say, Basi, if Manni would take a 6-5er or a 6-wicket haul, he said, Basi, 4 tere nahi dej, mere nahi. So that was something I had contributed. At one point in time, I think I was holding the record of the highest number of catches in a calendar season, which I'm not sure whether it's been equaled or it's been broken. I think it was around 18 or 19 catches in a calendar season.
That's a lot.
Believe me, some of the catches today, when I think about it, and I used to wonder, believe me, I used to stand in short leg without a helmet. No shin guards, no helmet. Just a guard.
Why no shin guards? There were no shin guards back then? Or didn't you wear them?
I never. And one incident I would like to tell, which I still remember. The same game, Jamshedpur game. Even though I missed out on 100 there, we had 300s from North. I got 96 or something. And I was standing at silly mid-off. Ravi Shastri was batting, and And there were some players who were not very comfortable when you had a silly point or a short leg standing. So the first intent of them would be to drive this guy out. Make sure that this guy sort of. Now, what I'm going to tell you, you won't believe it. Nobody has reported this, believe me. Now, what happened? I'm standing without anything, just a cap and a abdominal guard. At silly bit off. And very close to Ravi. And Ravi had a long reach. Suddenly, I see Ravi charging towards me. He's on guard. He's looking up. Mani was the bowler. This guy literally came China. I said, Ravi, what are you doing? I don't know what hit me. I don't think it was the ball. It was the bat hitting my knee. I remember it.
Really?
Yeah. So I said, Ravi, what the hell? So all I could hear was Mani saying, sorry, Bhazi. I said, what the hell happened here? कहता वो मेरे हाथ से ball छूट गया. Now I'm standing like this. The ball is behind me. And Ravi came to hit that ball.
Okay.
You understand?
And he hit you?
And he hit me.
Of
course, the ball was somewhere close to my knee. Nah? He was trying. I had no time to move away or take evasive action. So all I remember is that I went flying down.
Okay.
With pain. But those days things were different. I did not even pinch. I did not even check what happened. Then the over got over, went to the other side, and a couple of overs, suddenly I realized, I'm not able to walk. And plus, my knee had swollen up that much.
Oh, hit you on the knee?
Hit me on the knee. So Kapil Paji saw it. I was by great difficulty, pulled my trouser up to check what happened. My knee was that big. Kapil Paji saw it and he said, use that typical Punjabi word, and he said, Mar jayega. Go. Take baraf la kuch kar. So I went to this Tata, some hospital. I think the cancer hospital or something. So this doctor looking at me and said, Sir, ye ball ki to nahi ho sakti. Chot. So maine kaha, ji, that is how when I could relate what happened. So probably I assumed that it was Ravi hitting me on the knee. I don't blame him. Theek yaar, Mani, somehow, see earlier when you could, even if it's a underarm ball, you could hit it, right?
Yeah.
Even if it sort of releases from your hand, goes to mid-wicket area or probably covered area, you had the right to go and hit it.
Yeah.
So Ravi was close to his 100 and probably wanted to hit that ball to the boundary or something. So I was standing in between. And it took me about 2 months to recover from there.
Oh, that's a lot.
Because there was a foreign body, there was a slight crack in the knee. And thanks to, I didn't want to go for an op. Thanks to Dr. Irani, if you remember, he was the
Ali
Irani. He was part of the India setup. And the first guy whom I called was Ali Irani. I said, yaar, aise ho gaya bhai. And I am scared of going in for an op and I don't want to do it. So he gave me some exercises to do to strengthen my knee. And which I did, for about 2 months. That helped. That really helped.
Okay.
But that was one incident where I remember very clearly. But I keep telling Ravi, I said, जानबूझ के मारा था तूने.
Coming back to the catch, you remember any one catch that you took that you would say is the best? If you have to be partial and pick one catch, which one would you pick?
To be honest, there were many. And I remember that England series, one of the series, some of the players were given marks, and there were some marks were given.
Not aware, sir. Not.
This
must
happened.
have forgotten. Okay.
Some kind of a for every 50 or a catch taken or something. So before the test match began, I think or the first test began, I was on the top because I had taken some 4 or 5 catches in that game.
Okay.
And this funny incident I'll tell you. Mani had this arm ball that he used to bowl. And it was not the classical arm ball where, like what Bedi Paji used to do. This guy used to bowl like an in-swinger.
Okay.
Hold it literally like an in-swinger. Now, a couple of games when he tried, I would tell him, I said, Mani, if an edge comes, I'm too close, standing too close and slips, right? I won't be this speed that you're bowling this particular ball. If there is an edge, I don't think I can take it. Then don't blame me that I've dropped a catch. So this Mani and me, we had this signal. Every time he would come on to bowl that particular ball, he would hold his Judy.
Okay.
He would tighten it.
Uh-huh.
So that was a kind of signal for me. Basi, get back a little. And there were some of the catches that I've taken even after that arm ball. I mean, so many of them. I really can't but I used to. I've taken Manoj pull flicks and all in short legs. Prabhakar's flick shot. Yeah, flick shot and pulls I've taken on the short leg.
In short leg?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I was
instinct. It was just reaching out.
I was damn good in my reflexes. And I think if you ask my contemporaries about my fielding in the close-in areas, probably they would rate me as one of the best.
Wow, it's good I asked you that question. If you have to pick one cricketer who you think during your period would have played for India but couldn't, very, very talented cricketer. It doesn't matter if it's a batsman, bowler or any wicket keeper, anyone.
Some of the seniors in the bowling category, probably Goel Paji, Rajendra Goel was one, So of course, see, I always say that I had the best of two eras. I played with the likes of one era when I started my career, where I played with Sunny Bhai, Gundappa Vishwanaths, the Shastris and the Patils, Jimmy Amarnaths. And also, second half of my career, I played with Sachin and Dravid, Kumble's. So I had the best of two eras. So, yes, I would say I was one of those unlucky ones. Like me, I've seen Hari Gidwani in action. And though he used to play for Sonnet in the beginning. So when when they all moved out of Delhi, we came into Delhi squad.
Okay.
But whatever I had seen him, I thought he was unlucky not to have played for India. Again, a great backfooter. And I remember West Indies, that West Indies side, earlier West Indies side. He got 250s. Getting a 50, even a 50 against, during that era used to be something people would be talking about. So I think Hari Gidwani was one cricketer who missed out, I thought. And then I think Amol Majumdar was the other guy. Probably, and they were good friends. We keep talking whenever we meet. There's a lot to share. This is one thing I always tell him. I said, Amol, you must have done something very bad. That you being from Bombay and scoring that many runs, how could you miss out? Whereas Bombay guys, they always project their players, and even people who are not that talented, they always give a chance. But how come you missed out? And how could you miss this bus after scoring so many runs? That's something which is and always raises doubts about why it happened. Then who else? Paddy Shivalkar was the other bowler. He should have played. Of course, very unfortunate that like Goel Paji, so, that's another thing that comes to my mind is how the system works. That Goel Paji, after getting 800 wickets, something like that.
800 odd, yeah.
Why can't BCCI give these cricketers a handsome pension? Because when you talk about Goel Paji or Paddy Shivalkar, they come under that the non-test player category.
Very true.
They come under the first class cricketer. So there are players who have played one test and two test matches and have not played 4 seasons for their respective states. Right? So their credibility, you mean to say that they are the better players than these guys? So why not, somebody like Paddy Shivalkar or Goel Paji, we be honored with, when all this IPL thing was, when we had that one-time payment was being given. I think it would have been a great gesture. Some of the cricketers, sometimes you wonder, even a guy like Surinder Khanna, he's played some 14, 15 one-day internationals, but never played a test match. So you mean to say they were not good enough? See, they didn't play because they didn't get the opportunity. Am I right? But it's to compare, suddenly, even a guy like who's played some 14, 20 one-day internationals, 15 to 20 internationals, is categorized in the first class. So I think it doesn't really make sense. I think if you can pick a few cricketers, who could have been honored, the way they honored the other guys, the test players. Some of them, I think that's how it should have been done. It's my personal.
No, it's a fair thought, without doubt. Yeah. Well, sir, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I really look forward to actually having a even longer conversation with you, because this is something that really intrigues me. So I would really love to, at your convenience, someday when this COVID gets over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, please do stay safe and stay in, sir. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much.